guys, this is Ken with Kenjutsu Bring It to Life, and today we're going to be modifying the former baby Kokiri sword into a full-size cosplay prop. So in order to do that, we're going to adjust a few details, but mostly we're going to change the blade from what used to be more like a club into a bit more like what it's supposed to look like here. So the first thing I wanted to do is change some details. Since the infant one was so small, I didn't really worry about the details, but we kind of want to put some of these decorations on there, this grip pattern here. So in order to do that, I am holding Shift, Alt, and then clicking to get these edge loops. I'll get rid of the edge link there. There, and then I'm going to subdivide, boop, to get us all these little shapes. And then I'm going to go to X-ray mode and click on all these because I want to subdivide just these edges. So we're going to get all these guys like so. And I'm holding shift and left clicking, dragging it across. So we got all those, and I'm going to hit C for clear, hold shift to get rid of these edges. So we just want those. Thanks to our X-ray view, we managed to get all the way around, and then we're going to subdivide, and now we're left with all these nice little squares. And we're not going to get the exact pattern, but close enough, close enough. What we're going to do is hit 3 to go into face, and then we're going to poke faces. So now we have all these little vertices in there. And we're going to go back to X-ray mode, and now we're going to select all these little vertices. Just the ones in the center of the squares. And boop. Alright, now again, thanks to X-ray mode, we got all the way around. And what we're going to do now is I'm going to remove the snap and go for medium point. And then I'm going to hit S to scale and Shift Z. That way it cancels out the Z axis and it just goes along the X and Y. And then we're going to pull out just a bit to create that that kind of pattern here along the hilt. So it's not perfect, but it's close enough. It's something. Alright, now for the blade. So we want to start here in the center. I'm pretty sure that's there, but let's just make sure by subdividing, and then we'll hit cursor to active. Yeah, that's fine. Alright, so kind of want to go with that classic anime JRPG style of sword where it's kind of diamond profile. So we're going to start off with a plane, and we're going to definitely shrink that plane. Shrink it even more. And maybe a little more. Here-ish. Seems fine. And since the base has this more maybe rectangular look with this triangle here, we're going to go for that by subdividing over here. Get rid of this edge. And then we're going to stretch out along the x-axis. Alright, we're going to go into it. It's going to clip a little bit, but that's okay. We'll fix that later. And now we're going to drag all this up. We're going to collect that edge loop and hit E to extrude, and then Z to go straight up. And that's pretty generous, so we'll go out here. And then we're going to hit subdivide on these two edges to create the center point, and make sure you have auto merge selected up here, and then we're just going to, and also snap, and set to active and vertex, and we're just going to go in there Attach those there, and now we have our triangle. Now, I kind of want to widen this a little bit. Let's widen that along the x-axis here. Something like that. And then we will take it up a bit further. Just extruding. This is a fairly short sword. Okay. And personally, I want more of a point rather than this kind of rounded edge here. So what I'm going to do is these two, put an edge between them, subdivide, and take that up, and just attach these two. And then we'll close the faces by collecting those two edges and then hitting F. And now we have our point. And I want it to be wider. So what I'm going to do is median and just kind of exit out, scale it out a bit. That seems okay. Alright, I want to fix this line here, so I'm going to take this and attach it to this guy because it's at the center. And then what we'll do is stretch this out along the x-axis and just kind of overlay this line the best we can. Doesn't have to be perfect. That's fine, that's fine. And we'll take that line and get rid of it now. So we have that kind of shape going. Liking that. These faces are gonna be a little weird. I was thinking about mirroring it, but let's see. Let's divide these. You know what? Let's hide you so I can focus on this. I'm gonna subdivide this here. And then bevel this edge. See if that helps out. I wonder if this should be rounder instead of straight. Scale that out just a wee bit. And then we're gonna bevel here. More or less what we're looking for. Wait, did this? This also went out. I wonder why. I think this one will be just flat along this. Something like that. Yeah, alright. Let's see. So, I'm gonna want to print this out, so what I'm gonna do is go ahead and separate these. Click on one of the vertices and hit L to select everything it's attached to, and then we're gonna hit P as selection to separate it into two different objects. So now we have the handle and the blade as two separate things. And then what we're gonna do is, originally this was really small and I used a little steel rod to connect the blade with the handle and help reinforce it. We're gonna do something similar, but instead of the metal rod, we're gonna use maybe a 1/2-inch piece of PVC pipe. And to reinforce that, I'm gonna have the same kind of steel rod sticking up through here. That way there's no twisting along this cylindrical pivot point here. So let's, alright, it's hidden. Alt H to unhide things, and then, oh, that's already made, okay. Okay, let's see how wide is this. Go up here, edge links. Yeah, so it definitely needs to be larger. Let's get this blade. And we will enlarge these at the same time, because I need a diameter of 22 to fit that piece of PVC in there. And currently we're at 10 something. Oh man, you can barely see it. But 10.1, so we're going to scale it up. Just hit S and pull out until it's where you need. So it says 22. Right? Let me check. Alright, so yeah, that needs to be 22. And I also want to reinforce. Let's get rid of this for now. And I'm going to put another little hole over here. So we'll get rid of this face, extend you out over here-ish. And then we will go F3, cursor to active, and then Shift A to bring up this menu, and we'll plop a circle right there. And this needs to have a diameter of 3.7, and since we're going with radius, what is 3.7 divided by 2 is 1.85. So 1.85. There we go. Now we have our circle, and we'll drag it down. Oops. I'll extrude it down. Get rid of snap for a sec. This. And since this is going to be printed upside down, we're going to put a cone by right-clicking and poking face, and then drag that down so it's at least at a 45-degree angle, so the 3D printer won't feel the need to print out supports in these holes here. Yeah, we already did that for this other shape. You can see the cone. Okay, so let's seal these faces back up. These opposite ones. And then we got this. And get rid of the ones we don't need. That's fine, yeah. And then F to put that face on there. That'll be fine. Alright, so now we're going to need to do the same to the blade. So we're going to take these. And do we want this too? Yeah, you know what? Let's go ahead and do that. And we're going to duplicate this with Shift D. Get it out of there. And then we're going to rotate it. Actually, let's pick one of the middle vertices like that one. And then R, X to rotate along the X. And we can get it. I'm holding Control so the intervals are 5 degrees. And now it's 180. Let's separate this. And we'll hide the handle because that's basically done. And we'll put, I have 2 blades. Oh yeah. Let me show you. This is the baby blade. I made it for my baby nephew, so it's a lot more club-like, no points, no edges. But we're going to do a little different today. I don't need that anymore. Boop. And this will be our new blade. And then we will click on both of these items and Control J to join them into a single object. And this doesn't have a face, it's fine. L on this, grab it with G, drag down, let's go to snap, and there we go. So where it needs to be. Okay, and then we'll close up these faces like we did before. should create the one. And then we'll hit A for all, and then Shift N to recalculate the normals. Because some of those faces were not facing the right way. And we'll take this. We don't actually need the center line. And let's go all the way up about here. Here, then we'll close that face and click the face, poke face, and then make another cone. Alright, so this is going to be kind of long. Let's see how long exactly. Edge length. Where's that center? So it is 270 millimeters. Is that long enough? How long is that in inches? Let me check for a moment. 270 millimeters to inch. That's 10 and a half about. I mean, it looks okay. Let's make sure our holes are still where we want them. That's still 22 millimeters. That is also still 22 millimeters, so I guess that's fine. Alright, we don't actually need this pick anymore. So once we have this longer line, we can cut this in half by subdividing. You know what? We're gonna have to wait because I kind of want to bevel these sharper edges here. They seem a bit sharp. Can I still do that? This might be in the way a little bit. I mean, we could get rid of it just for a moment. Yeah. Because I think I should bevel the outer edge first and then bevel this one. So we're gonna get rid of those. Actually, you know what? Let's get rid of the whole vertices. Oop, not those, not those. I don't want to get rid of this one. Still need you. Still need you. But the rest can go. Oop. Never mind. We actually need these corners as well. Okay, now maybe. Yeah, should keep our shape intact. Oh yeah, and we did subdivide these faces, so we'll have to do that again. Where'd you go? Filling them in. Okay. Okay, let's subdivide this again. We gotta hide you here. Okay. And we'll subdivide once more. And we'll also pull these out to give that rounder base. Yes. And now we'll bevel this edge just to make it a little more comfortable, because 3D printers can make some pretty sharp edges, and this is a cosplay prop, so we don't want to endanger anybody here. Bevel that pretty good. And let's bevel this tip as well. Bevel it as an edge. Nice and rounded. I can bevel this edge too. Yeah, I think that'll do it. Alright, now we can bevel these guys. Alright. As much or as little as you want. Okay, that seems okay. Let's recalculate the normals just in case. Okay, now we can cut it in half. So where is that line? Is that the vertice? Okay. So cursor to active, F3, and then cursor to act. Why not there? Cursor to active. There you go. And we will generate a plane right along this vertice here. And which way do we want to go? Doesn't really matter. Let's just go Y, and then we'll stretch this out to be wide enough to cut this whole thing. Then we will separate it with P selection, and clicking on this, we got all that, and then we will control click on the square here. So now that's our secondary selection. We gotta enter this profile view, and then knife project, cut through. And now we've cut through the entire thing. Okay, so we're not going to need you anymore. Alright. So now we can duplicate, Shift D, and we will separate, P selection, and then we'll get rid of this top that we just duplicated. Boop. Now we have both the bottom and the top. Let's call this blade tip. We'll call this blade base. Yes, alright. And now I want this reinforced nub over here to go in all of them. So there'll basically be two little pieces of metal helping to stabilize this blade. So what I'm going to do is collect this whole little guy, and we're going to Shift D to duplicate, bring them all the way up here, and picking the centermost vertice, we're going to rotate along the X 180 degrees, and then we're going to plop them right down here. There. Let's hide this for now, and we want to close this face. I'll make face over here, and then two over here. And then we'll Shift N to recalculate our normals. And then we'll do the same thing for this top part. And so I'm going to get this guy again. Let's get that center point. Shift D, E, G, moving it up. Rotating along the X, 180 degrees. Separate. I can hide you. Now we can join these two together. We'll take this bottom one, snap it down here. And we'll work on closing these faces again. This one. Two-Face. Alright. And we will calculate normals again. Okay. And that, I believe, does it. We have the space for our PVC to hold. We have these to support it, keep it from trying to twist. That way the glue that we use to stick it together isn't the only thing holding it there. And I think that's it. Yeah, this will be our model for our Kokiri sword. This guy will be printed upside down. I think I'll print maybe this one upside down and this one like this. And it should come together pretty nicely. Alright, well, thanks for watching. We'll probably do the Deku shield next, turn it from a baby weapon to a larger cosplay prop. Oh yeah, these models will be put on my Patreon for you to download at the supporter tier or above. These models will be available for all the models in the entire armory are available for those supporter tiers, so past, present, and as long as you're remaining a member, future props as well. Alright, so thanks for watching. Tune in next time. We'll work on that Deku shield.